Final Cut Pro keyboard, which has all the keyboard shortcuts on there, which I'm pretty excited about. This is the brand new camera that I got to shoot my film Fresca with, so I keep it in my case here to keep everything taken care of. So I have, this is a cord to connect the camera to the video monitor if I want to take a look at that. So I keep my filters here. Zoom lens. So this is the Canon Mark II still camera. It's a beautiful little camera. And you can shoot high definition video with this. I just searched on the internet forever to try to find something like this because I wanted to be able to hold the camera as if it was like a Super 8 camera. And this is how I was able to handhold and shoot the film. So I'm going to turn it on right here. So you can see inside the monitor there is the actual live situation going on, live film. So whenever I needed to shoot video, I would just press this middle button right here. Then for stills, up on top over here. So on the front of the camera right now I have a little fog filter. You can see right now it's covered with a little bit of dust, but it won't show up on the final film. But I had a little fog filter here and it softens the video, makes it look a little bit more film-like. And I've been doing that for some project I call moving photographs, which are basically photographs, but then after you watch them for a few seconds they actually move. For the Fresca film I didn't use the fog filter. I wanted the pictures to be as sharp as possible, so I kept it without these filters for now. So when I was first starting this film, I put together a little production design book, which is right here, and I kind of shot a bunch of still photos and also took references from other films as inspiration for how I wanted to shoot this film. So you'll see this is a still from the cartoon Aeon Flux for the title War. And here are some stills also from Aeon Flux. This is the first opening shot of our character walking through the film. So what I did is I went around the Noman campus, I just shot stills, and then drew in the character to show her kind of path through this space. These are stills from a Wong Kar-wai film. I believe it's 2046, but I'm not 100% sure. These are 2046 stills. And I really want to try to push the color as much as I could. So I use this as video reference. These are my very simple stick figure-esque storyboards. When I'm doing my own films, I don't need to make any fancy boards. There's the girl reaching for the glass, or caressing the glass as I say here. Okay. She caresses her body. And then here's an exterior shot. So anyway, her walking up the stairs. So a lot of the stuff was planned out, but there was room for improvisation. Here she is walking up the stairs. And on and on. Bang! Another shot here. This is where Hugo gets his guts ripped out. Checking in the pockets. Finds the coin. And then her reaching down, stuff like that. So anyway, it was a really good way for myself just to kind of figure out, you know, how I wanted to kind of map out this film. I can go through these boards really quickly. Splat. Some of this stuff is pretty close to the actual film. What's good about using photographs is you're not relying on a storyboard that you may not be able to shoot. And I was actually able to pre-edit too. You can see some of these shots I decided not to use, not to even shoot. So you can kind of go in and kind of pre-edit your film. Here's some more stills from Aeon Flux. It was going to be very much like an Aeon Flux type of film, but as it went on, it kind of took a life of its own, I think. Anyway. And this just goes on and on. But this is basically me mapping out the entire film. This is, again, just a simple 7-minute film. But, you know, I did put in a little bit of planning. You can see how simple the drawings are. Pretty hilarious. Another one. Later on, she gets more change. Goes back to the Basodi machine this time, which is the end of the film. Happy, happy, joy, joy. drinks the Fresca. The Fresca bottle was supposed to come out of the machine, couldn't get that. So we just cut to her drinking. Okay, so that was that. So this is my little baby production design book, which is small enough that I can carry it around really easily. Or have my assistant, either Hugo was helping me out, or my daughter Sabrina was carrying this around, and she was kind of checking things off for me. And then every time I go out to shoot, every single day, I have a to-do list of different things that I needed to either bring to the set or things that I needed to shoot. Stuff that wasn't shot yet. And I would, every time I got something done, you can see I would kind of circle it. So almost everything on the list got done for the film. There's probably about 5 things I still want to do. Alrighty, and here's some more storyboard notes. Okay, here is when she's unzippering her jacket, which is an afterthought. I was realizing we need to show that she has a place to hold the coins, since she doesn't have a pocket. She goes in. Here's where she's going through the guy's ear, his mouth, opening up his chest, blood spurting out of the chest, ripping the meat. I don't know what the heck that is. Oh, setting the gun down. Look how horrible that drawing is. So anyway, you can see things are pretty much mapped out. I had to print out this frame because when we went back to shoot this, I needed to know what the angle was. And you can see here's poor Hugo, and then here's the blood pump. So everything was kind of planned out that way. Here's the ship design. As you can see, it's very simple. A film gets started, once I start getting these notes down, that's when the film starts becoming real. And I start planning out what I need to buy, you know, and how I'm going to shoot it, who I need to help me out with the film. This is the poster we put up for the first day of shooting, kind of exciting. Some more storyboard page. You can see by the scale, they're pretty small little frames. Okay. Some extra frames here. Our character looking at the soda. Just go forward. And again, this was something, my dream was to have a shot where you're actually circling around this complex, kind of like a Blade Runner type of a thing, which is coming in from the top. I can never get that shot. But maybe later on. Maybe later on I'll be able to do that. And this is another dream shot which I wasn't able to do, where the spaceship actually lands on the top of the building. Our character walks down, comes out somehow, and walks over in silhouette, then goes down the stairs. Again, a relatively simple shot, but I wasn't using any CG. I was just using a plastic model. So for having a plastic model actually land believably with the right kind of landing gear to come down and everything proved to be a little too difficult for me at the moment. It's like more page of notes. Oh, this is sad. This is cool. This is stuff that wasn't even shot. Quick shots of characters being shot at, legs, hands in agony. I was looking at Battleship Potemkin. Then this shot, I was going to have a woman with a baby carriage, cut to the wheel, bang, the mom gets shot. Very similar to Battleship Potemkin. And the baby carriage falls down the stairs and something happens. Here's another section where someone is looking, bang. We actually shot that, but we never actually had the head fly off. That would have been kind of cool. Again, me going back to that same idea about traveling around the initial complex. Here's another little drawing of the spaceship. You know, this was going to be, where is it? This is going to be a down shot. You're actually looking down at the spaceship, and then you see her going across the platform. So I kept rethinking that one image over and over and over again. This is another idea that I actually cut. I didn't want to do it. I thought it was a little cliche. But I was going to have the gun attached to the camera, so we're seeing the camera, and then we see the gun, so it's almost like a video game. But I've seen that in other films, and I didn't really want this to be like that. I didn't want everyone to feel like the killing in the film was an enjoyable thing. I wanted it to be more traumatic and terrible, and the only reason we still care about the main character is because she doesn't know any better. She's just an alien from another planet. Alrighty, this is the last page. So when I'm first starting, this is one of the only films I made where I didn't actually write a script. I just basically started with small drawings. There was the character's boots coming down for the first time. You see her holster with the gun in it. which is something I ended up not having a holster. I just didn't like it, so I thought I had her kind of carrying the gun. But I kind of planned things out this way, and this is kind of like the beginning of the film. So this kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of some of the background preparation and what was involved in actually making this film. The reason I wanted to use this camera for this film is I wanted to really kind of force myself to learn how this camera works, learn about as many of the functions as I possibly could, and I thought just kind of throwing myself into the middle of a film would do it. And it sure did. I actually learn quite a bit about this camera. And also, while I was making this movie, I was spending quite a bit of time working on my still photographs. And I can show you, here's some of my still photographs now. These are some of the kind of fashion type of photos that I was doing, hiring, or just kind of bartering with models. They would pose for me, and in exchange, I would give them photos for their portfolio. So I was able to practice my skills with the stills as well. And eventually, the idea is that these still photographs are going to end up in a film. Because all these things that I can shoot with stills, I can actually shoot moving images as well.